Right, and you also mentioned like different plans. There's the 457 plan, the drop. Now, if you do a defined benefit plan, can you not also do a 457 plan?
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
In fact, you can mix and match.
Yeah, in fact, your defined benefit plan is going to be your defined benefit plan.
Right.
We call the 457 plan the icing on the cake. So in the private sector, it's called a 401k plan. If you work at a hospital, nonprofit, school, it's called a 403b. In the municipal or public sector, it's called a 457 plan. Works very similar to a 401k. The thing, Will, that I see that's really a shame is young police officers not signing up for their 457 plan immediately upon becoming a police officer. If you're a young police officer and you're living at home and you're making 60, 70, 80 grand a year, if you could front load how much you put into your 457 plan, you will literally have $1 million upon retirement. So what happens with the 457 plan is usually we get police officers who are 10 years from their end of their watch or end of their career, and they're like, hey, I need to save some additional money. And oh yeah, by the way, if I put money into the 457 plan, it saves me on taxes. So if you're a police officer making 100 grand a year, you put 10 grand into a 457 plan, your W-2 shows that you made 90 grand. So there's that $10,000 worth of tax savings. We have, Will, many police officers that max out their 457 plan every year. And what's really interesting is that this year, over the age of 50, you can put $30,000 into it. So we call the 457 plan the icing on the cake, because what ends up happening is you get to the end of your career, you turn on your defined benefit plan, then you have your 457 plan, which has a couple of $100,000 in it. You roll that over to an IRA. That's what's going to supplement your income from the erosion you lose to inflation when you get to be 65, 70, 75, et cetera. So a 457 plan is a very important part. And unfortunately, we see a lot of police officers, they don't understand it. It's called 457. Sometimes in the police world, they slang it as deferred comp. That's not really the good name. It's called a 457 plan. But again, we just started a plan last year, a major township. And it was the first time they had a 457 plan. They have 30 police officers and they have like 25 or 30 non-uniform employees. And when we went to them, the finance director was like, hey, we need to start a 457 plan. Turned out the finance director was a CPA from the private sector. And when she realized that there was something called a 457 plan for municipal workers, she's like, we got to start this. So she was a driving force. Well, these police officers, the township manager made the statement that, oh, I thought 457 plans were only for police officers. That's why we didn't put one in, because we thought it was an extra benefit. It's not an extra benefit. It's something that a municipality can offer to everyone at the municipality. So police officers really need to understand their 457 plan and start it as early as possible.
Well, you mentioned a few buzzwords there for me, and I'm going to get to maximum, so don't let me forget maximum. But, this plan does sound great. I have a 401k thing, even as a contractor, which I'm very lucky to have, which I'm very thankful to have. I've been working, other than 10 months when I was unemployed, since I exited college in 2017. I got 2 different retirement plans. 401k is huge. The maximum I can give is 15%. Now, I need more than 15%, so I give 10%, right? I give 10% of my money pre-tax into 401k, which is just huge because I see that grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Right.
But why isn't a 450? Why don't I have the option to do a 457 plan? Why is this section cut off in different parts of the market? In other industries might have a 304 plan or whatever, insert number or name here. Why is this? This is more of a general systemic question. Why is it separated?
Right.
This doesn't sound very meritocracy to me.
Yeah, it's just the IRS code. It's really the IRS code. The IRS code, portion of the IRS code says, here's what a 401k is, and here's who it's for. Here's what a 403b is. Here's who it's for, and here's what a 457. So their 457 plans and 403b plans are a little bit different than a 401k plan. There's some things that you have to do. We do 401k plans at our shop. But really, again, the main point about the 457 plan is it's for municipalities. It's really who it's designed for. It's got some things in it that I wish it would have. For example, the main difference between a 401k and a 457 plan is in a 401k, your employer can match. So if your employer puts in 4% and you put in 4%, you can get a match. Well, in a 401k, and this is getting in the weeds a little bit, if your employer puts in a match, you could still put in the maximum, which for 2023 under the age of 50 is 22.5. In a 457, the municipality can put money into the 457 on your behalf, but it cuts down how much the employee can put in. So in a 457, if a city or a township or a borough puts $2,000 into, the 457 plan, well, then the employee can only put in $20,500. So there's some subtle differences between the two. But again, the biggest mistake that we see is that 457 plans aren't taken advantage of. The other big difference in the 457 versus the 401k world is you're actually better off in the 401k world from the standpoint that the Department of Labor has said that all fees in a 401k have to be shown to the participant. So every year in your 401k, it says Will paid this, this, and this in his 401k. A couple of years ago, the Department of Labor was going to make 457s and 403bs totally transparent to show all the fees. Well, guess what? Guess who the biggest providers in the 457 world are? Insurance companies.
No,
they're insurance companies.
Yeah, of course.
And so I just got a 457 today. We have a product called Pantera, where if we don't actually manage the 457, if we're the advisor to the 457, we have a product called Pantera where I can actually manage the police officer's 457 plan. So the police chief, said, hey, I want to do that because I could never get into this municipality to be a 457 provider. So I said, sign up for Pantera. I'll manage your 457 plan for you. I'm telling you, Will, I got on there and I looked at the fund lineup and I looked at the costs. The costs are almost double what people pay in the 401k world. I'm not kidding you. It's a little insane. But again, the Department of Labor about 7 years ago was going to say, we're going to make all the costs transparent. The huge pushback came from the insurance industry because they didn't want to show all the costs and have them transparent because guess what? They're charging so much more. Yeah. So, again, there's no question about it. And so the 457 is good. I mean, we run a 457 like a 401k. We show all the fees. Our fees are hyper competitive. But when I see some of these other 457 plans run by other companies, it's not good. But again, an officer should take advantage of their 457 plan. No question about it.
Right.
So.
All right, let me touch upon maximums real quick. Maximums annoy me, right? Like, why is there a government-mandated maximum mandate on how much money I can save for my retirement, right? I guess you can just open multiple accounts. I'm sure there's loopholes and things you can do this, that, the other. But the idea of like the maximum amount I can contribute to any account is just like, why? Why? Yeah. Other than this, you want to be ridiculous. Like, especially like a Roth, right? A Roth IRA. Sometimes it makes sense. Like a Roth, I guess, can make sense because it's probably taxes more than anything else. But maximums just annoy me. It's a thorn in my side.
I agree with you. I mean, if we're going to solve the retirement problem, I mean, they've been raising, people don't realize this, but 401ks, 457s, 403bs, 10 years ago, the maximum you could put in was about $14,000. So right now, if you're over the age of 50, you can put in $30,000. If you're under the age of 50, 22.5, and they are indexing how much you could put in for inflation finally. But I agree with you because, you would see people saving a lot more money. I mean, if you get a husband and wife working, the kids are gone, college is paid for, the house is, and they're making a combined income of $250,000. If they could sock away 50, 75 grand a year in a 457 plan or 401k or 403b, that would be huge. But I agree with you. There should be, a much higher maximum that you could put in.
Yeah. So if I got the cash to save, let me save it. Let me save it.
And you bring up a very important point because we see this quite a bit where we see people becoming inefficient with what they're saving. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is I'll see a police officer putting $8 grand a year in his 457 plan, but he's got 50 grand in a savings account. And I'm like, well, where'd that 50 grand in the savings account come from? He's like, well, we've just been saving it. I'm like, you're saving it in the wrong bucket. You're saving it in the savings account, which should be termed a don't pay me any interest account. Although savings accounts are coming up, they're whopping almost 2% now. But the point is, you should be putting more money into your 457 plan if you are inefficient and have too much money in a after-tax account, is what you should end up doing. So
yeah, no, my savings account is just a digital sock drawer at this point.
Yeah, there you go.
But I make good use of it.